So I talk to a lot of people who are in their 30s, and a part of this channel's audience is also in their 30s, okay? But one thing I'll say is I know a lot of folks that they take on a lot of risks. They invest in a certain way to try to get rich quick, and the answer is usually, Tommy, I don't have that much time to waste. I want to get rich as fast as I possibly can. And the answer is, to think that the question is it too late for me to basically get wealthy? The answer is probably not, okay? Especially if you are in your 30s. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Well, first of all, I want you to think about something for a second. And this will seem a little morbid, which basically means a little weird, off-putting. But the answer is, how old are you exactly? The answer is, let's say, for example, even if you're 39 years old, the average life expectancy right now in America is about 77. That basically means when you think about it, you have 38 years left to get your life put together. Whenever you're trying to rush something, put that into perspective. Most people, even if you're 60, used to have 17 years to put your life together. That is a long time. So to cover this video in one sentence, the answer is no. It is not too late for you to get your life together. But overall, if your goal is only, for example, to get rich quick, you're probably not going to get there because you don't understand how money works, and you don't understand how compound interest works, and you don't understand who the rich people really are. The average rich person is in their 50s. It takes a while to get wealthy, and the best way to do it is slow and steady. If you try to get rich in slow spurts or whatever, or in large spurts, in reality, you're going to take a lot of risks, and just as you made some money, you'll lose it. And then you'll make some more, and then you'll lose it. And before you know it, you're not really going anywhere, all right? So the goal for this video is to show you how to do this, like, little by little, step by step, to still get to your goal and still have fun and everything else, okay? So as always, guys, like this video, and top out, also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. So here's the very first thing you actually want to do. In this video, I'll tell you why you're doing it, what to do, and how to do it, okay? So the very first thing is, one of the most frustrating things, whether you're in your 20s or your 30s, is having certain goals, having a certain lifestyle, having certain problems, and not really having it on paper. Having something written down makes it a lot more physically attainable and achievable. And the answer is because whenever you're just thinking about things in your head, you're like, I have this debt, I have this problem, I don't have enough income, I spent all my money on this. It's all here. And it's frustrating, but you don't know exactly how to tackle it. So the best thing you could possibly do right now is just grab a piece of paper, open up your Apple Notes or your Samsung Notes, whatever notes you want to use, grab some pen and paper, grab a book, grab a diary, whatever you want. And I want you to write down everything. From your goals, from your problems, all the money you owe, all the money you make, all of your bills, all of your expenses, absolutely everything. And if it's me, I would do it in this template, okay? First, I'll start off by writing down all of my expenses, every single bill I basically have. Then I'll write down exactly what my income is. I'll write down some of my goals. I want to get financially free. I want to pay off my debt. I want to buy a home eventually. I want to write down everything. And then on top of that, I'm going to ask myself, why do I want to achieve these things, okay? Because if you don't have a powerful why, you probably will not achieve it, okay? So here's one example of a powerful why that helped me stop chasing something, okay? So I had a goal, and it was basically, I want to buy a Lamborghini Urus. For those that don't know, that is a $200,000 vehicle. And I just had that in my head. I was like, I want to buy it. And then I put it on paper. And I was like, why do you want this? And I was like, I don't know. And that was enough to say, why are you chasing it? I don't know. And that was enough to basically say, hey, you don't need it, so just let it go. You're not going to work, for example, that much extra to buy a vehicle. To take it from point A to point B costs you a ton of money to maintain and everything else. Just makes no sense. So having a powerful why helps you get there. But when I ask myself, why do you want financial freedom? Because I want to have, for example, financial independence. I don't want to be reliant on certain things to actually work externally to be fine and to take care of my family. And that was a strong, powerful why for me to attain financial freedom, although it was actually more expensive than that car. But that car made absolutely no sense. So that's the first thing. Put everything on paper. Write everything down. Now, number two is you want to actually go ahead and you want to get a budget. A budget is super important. Now, a budget is not going to be, for example, something you use that is going to make your life miserable. But no, a budget is going to help you get to your goals. If you have a powerful why and you actually want those things, it's actually going to help you. So a budget, I recommend everyone use a bare bone budget, especially when you're broke, when you have debt, and when you don't have financial freedom, which is basically most people out there. Now, the idea is, okay, a bare bone budget is basically a budget that only takes care of the absolute necessities. Everything else is basically wiped out. Now, that means you only take care of your shelter costs, utilities, groceries, and transportation. On top of that, shelter should not be more than a third of your monthly net income. When it comes to transportation, you should have a paid off car. When it comes to groceries, don't spend more than $200 to $250 per person. When it comes to utilities, utilities are gas, water, electricity, internet, and your phone bill. But even as far as your phone bill and so on, you can just get, for example, a prepaid plan. Just try to wipe out all the debt, okay? Now, whenever you do this, okay, and you have this type of budget, and you cut everything out, what's left is going to be, for example, what is your income? Minus your bare bone budget necessities, and that should give you a surplus. That's extra money you have available to do things with. On top of that, I recommend, if you are, for example, in your 30s or so and you have extra time from your full-time job, the answer is get a side hustle, whether it's doing Uber, whether it's delivering pizzas, whether it's another job, whether it's extra hours, and you use that extra money to complete some of the goals here, which we will talk about right now. And some of those goals are going to be, for example, in this order, and I'm going to tell you why exactly this order, okay? So the goals are get debt free first, save for emergencies at least 3 to 6 months, and then start investing while you save up for a down payment on a home. Most people say, Tommy, why wouldn't I just go ahead, pay some debt, invest some money? This way I can basically just have both the best worlds. The answer is it doesn't work like that, because if you're paying somebody, for example, 18% on a credit card, or 24% on a credit card, or 10% or 8% or 4% of student loan debt, this is all basically money you have to pay every single time you get paid, and that's not what you want. It steals your cash flow, it adds stress, it adds problems. So the goal should be first, eliminate the debt. And once you eliminate the debt, you eliminate all other ways to actually get back into debt. So if you have credit cards, you cut them, you close the accounts, you don't use them, okay? And the answer is you don't need a credit card to get an apartment. You don't need a credit card to buy a car for cash. You don't need a credit card to buy a home because you do manual underwriting. So yeah, that's true. If you're gonna buy a house and you don't have any credit, guess what they do, okay? They grab your income, they use your bill history payments on your light bill, your water bill, and they create a credit profile based on that, and they give you, for example, a mortgage. Because at the end of the day, a mortgage, a lending contract is going to be widely based basically just on your income. You don't need to have revolving debt to make it whatever, okay? To do manual underwriting, and that's just fine. So you don't need credit, you don't need debt, but the worst thing to have is bad credit because it shows irresponsibility. There is a difference, okay? That's the main reason why you want to do it this way. Now, why would you want to start investing later on? The answer is, well, you start investing after you have an emergency account, because I've seen people that start investing, they have an emergency, they pause investments, take money out, and that's not what you want because you don't want to interrupt your investments, okay? That's a powerful thing. So you want to save 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. If you quit your job, you lose your job, whatever thing happens, okay, you have money to handle business and continue everything as usual. And you also want to focus on buying a home. And when you buy a home, the idea is to own a home, not to buy the home the bank is going to give you money for. So you ignore the 30-year mortgages. You want to buy a home on a 15-year mortgage where everything in that home, including, for example, the mortgage, including the maintenance, the taxes, the insurance, the PMI, all 5 of these things, you want to make sure it's no more than a third. That means 30% of your monthly income net. And when you find a home like that, it's going to be a home you're actually able to afford, making extra payments, and finish paying it off in less than 15 years. And if you're still investing within those 15 years, you still have a good chunk of money in your investment account, and you also have, for example, a paid off home. When you have a paid off home, guess what you have? Less expenses. So you're actually able to have more fun and enjoy your life. Now, along the way, as you try to do this plan, the answer is a few things are going to become very apparent. Some people can do this plan exactly like I said it, and some people cannot, and that's fine. So I recommend, if it's hard for you to do this plan, take 5% of your income and use that money for discretionary spending on whatever you absolutely want. But limit it to 5%. Put it on a separate like debit card, so this way you're not tempted to use other money. But this way, you have fun and you get there a little slower, but you enjoy the journey and you're more likely to actually get there. That's the whole idea. So if you are in your 30s, do you still have time to get your things together? The answer is more than enough time. You have more, most people have more than 38 years. So 38 years is not going to take you a decade to pay off all your debt. It's not going to take you a decade to save for emergencies. It's not going to take you a decade to pay, well, might take a decade or so, maybe 15 years to actually pay off a home. But these are all things you kind of just do, and you can be done, for example, in 15 to 20 years, and you still allow money to keep compounding and making you more money. So yeah, it's never really too late to get, for example, your financial habits in place, because again, money is, most of it is just behavior, and most of it is just systems to make sure to support positive behaviors. Okay, that's the whole thing. So I hope this video actually helps you. I hope it makes sense, and I hope you start today, so this way you don't have to wait until you're in your 40s to watch another video about your 40s. Okay, thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. Up here is another video. Over here is my Facebook, subscribe, and as always, long-term team officially out. I have more videos on what to invest into and more stuff like that. So subscribe to the channel and keep watching. Peace.